lot of medication when I was a kid. I was very sick.
Yeah.
And one of those pills apparently really affected my brain for memory. Thankfully, one other mother had a kid on the same thing. They found that out, so they told my mother, hey, stop with that medication, because, and that brought me back. But I don't have a lot of memories from my childhood. But there was one very vivid, till this day. Now I can see it while I'm talking right now. Me, 10 years old, staring out of a window, looking at a tree in my classroom. I can I can smell it almost now. That's how vivid this thing is. And I remember the teacher tried to get a hold of me. Didn't work. The class is laughing already. Now he's screaming. And I go, what? He goes, what are you looking at? I said, that tree. What the tree? I said, how did it get there? And he goes, yeah, they planted it there, idiot. I go, yeah, I understand that. I said, but if you go to the tree before, if you go all the way back, where do trees come from? That was my question. And that always got in my head.
Yeah.
Now I'm in my fighting time. I stopped fighting. I fell into the trap. First of all, injuries, they started, right? You fall into a pain pill addiction, drinking. Started drinking at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, going crazy. Always happy though, dancing with the kids. But like I always said, even if you're happy, you're stupid. You're not a father. You're not a husband. You're not a man. You're not a man because you don't have yourself under control. There was a woman who passed away in that home, which I realize it was her, because my kids could see her. They were talking about her, looking out the window.
Wow.
That woman. And I started getting attacked by something physical. And people go, oh, it's paralysis, sleep paralysis.
Yeah, sleep paralysis.
No, that's not the thing, because I would wake up literally and I could move, and something would sit on my chest.
So you could move your arms?
I could move my arms, move my legs. I tried to put my legs outside the bed so I could pull myself out, but the pressure was too much. I wanted to see if I could feel something, but it was sitting here, so I couldn't.
By the way, how do you get Bas Rutten's attention?
Oh.
You pin him.
You pin him.
Like an opponent.
And there was nothing I could do.
Yeah.
And the pressure was so immense that I couldn't breathe anymore. And then the only way to get out of it was, at the time, getting super aggressive and shouting a lot of profanity, apparently. And my wife would wake up and goes, again. I go, it's again. And so I start challenging it.
And were the kids hearing this too? Like
maybe they were in different rooms.
Yeah.
But and I would challenge it. I said, why don't you do it now? Or when I just fall asleep. Every time you wait till I'm in deep sleep, I thought if you're so tough, I thought it was the devil.
Yeah.
If you're so tough, why don't you do it like this? Anyway, so then a year later, we come home and I feel somebody's in the house. And I drove, I wasn't drinking, and I come home, open the door, and I go, wait. And my wife, what? I said, someone's in the house. So I opened the old StarTech phone, 911. I say, hit send if you hear something. I said, don't worry about me. I know where the weapons are, so I got it. And I'm walking in, and we have an open kitchen on this side, and there we have the dining room on that side. And the open kitchen goes all the way to the back, and there's a door connected to the dining room. And in the door, there's hanging a thick curtain instead of a door. Now, I thought that person, so the wall is here, was on this side. So I start walking here, making a lot of noise. Hopefully he'd do this, and whoop, make a U-turn, and I'm going to get the guy. And I come running around the corner in the dining room, and the curtain goes whoop, up against the ceiling. And I kept sprinting through, and there was nobody in the freaking house.
Oh, my gosh.
So it didn't move, I always tell people. It flew up against the ceiling. So that put me like, okay, there's something going on in this house.
Yeah.
So then, I don't know the time in between, but it was soon. I decided at 3 a.m., which I had no clue Jesus passed away at 3 p.m. and 3 a.m. is a demonic activity. I had no clue. But at 3 a.m., I decided to go there in that dining room because it was always cold there. Mm-hmm. It was a weird cold and sometimes a weird smell. And I was standing under the chandelier, and I just started challenging it. So later, I talked to Father Ripperker, and he said, "Only you, Bas."
Yeah, right.
He said, but
I don't advise that.
Yeah. And somehow it stopped. Then I took my last fight, and I took the fight after 7 years of not competing to stop my drinking, because my wife goes, "Are you stupid? Why do you take a fight?" I said, "Honey, I can't drink and train, so I got to stop drinking then." So I took the fight. Then all went well. Won the fight. Then we moved to a different house with a pool, like a quarter mile up. After the first night, I asked my daughters, one slept upstairs, the other one downstairs, how their first night was. And the one upstairs, she says, it was good, but I had a visit from 2 boys. And I go, you mean spirits then, right? And she goes, yes. I go, wow, that's great. How old? She said, I don't know, 17. I go, you're not freaking out? She says, no, they were actually really nice, but one kept playing on the bed, and I told him, listen, I'm going to go to sleep, and I felt him pushing, and then I could please stop, and he stopped. And I look at my wife, this is crazy, so I go to the computer if something ever happened in my house.
Yeah.
Well, in 2001, and we got there in 2007, in 2001, a road next to us 4 kids, one girl and 3 boys. They went out of control on freaking Christmas, poor parents, and they went through our wall. And 2 boys died, one 16 and one 17 years old.
In your house.
We're walking outside. We see where they repaired the wall where these
Wow.
kids passed away. So now I knew, this is not the life. There's 100% there is something. I mean, now I had the physical attack, see the curtain flying up. I mean, all the craziness. And now she tells me this story, which she didn't know. It was, and then I do a movie, Mall Cop. We're doing a movie, and my buddy Kevin is asking me, Kevin James, in the break, if I want to sit in on this talk about how the world came together. Now, I already knew Kevin was a believer. I didn't know to what extent at all, because I never was in there.
Yeah.
But I know Kevin 28 years.
Yeah.
You know, I know him for a long time. But he never forced anything upon me.
Yeah.
I think he was just waiting for the right time.
Yeah.
And he said it the right way. He didn't mention God or Jesus, because I would have said, I'm in my room, I'll see you in an hour.
Yeah.
But he said how the world came together. I'm sitting there, light up a cigar at the Cabana, at the Wynn Hotel, at the pool, AC, hey, a Coke.
This is a place where people are always talking about Jesus. The Wynn Hotel. With some
100%.
cigar- Yeah, right.
The Satan is not present there at all.
Not at all. No.
And then Leo starts his conversation with the leaf fell from the tree.
And
And he says that leaf just reached its end destination. Let's backtrack that leaf. And he goes to the branch, and then he goes to the tree before.
And you're a
and
kid
he goes
sitting in
tree
school
before.
now thinking about that.
And I was like, where do I know this from? It still didn't click. That clicked later. I go, oh my God, that's that story. And then when Leo started doing that, and I suggest everybody listens to that 40-minute talk, everybody I knew who was not believing, who was with us, everybody was on board immediately. He did it so, and there was no room for, but there was zero room for, and because I'm that guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to fight it. I'm going to see it. But so now I knew it was a design. Well, a design needs a designer, which is God. So
Yeah,
that step was
exactly.
easy to make.
Yeah.
You see, but the way he set it up to me, I think that was the best way to do it. And then I realized it, and then it was like, poof, it started. We started going to mass. I already thought it was weird that they had priests there on the set, and there was daily mass, and but now it started.
I'm Mall Cop, you mean?
A mock up.
Yeah.
And then I came home. My wife started laughing. I made a picture of the priests in the elevator. She thought it was like they were dressed up like priests. There was no way I would hang out with priests.
Oh my gosh, that's
hilarious.
hilarious.
So that was hilarious.
And now, was your wife a Catholic?
No, but this is a cool story. So I come home, and I tell her I'm back into the faith. And she goes, yeah, right. Because with my ADHD, that's 2 months, and I'm out. You know, she knows.
Right.
But the things that stick with me, like submissions, they stick with me. And they stuck. And they got more. And then, it started doing the daily rosary. And then I started doing the readings. And I went to church. I started doing daily mass. And then I found out that the devil hates it when you do everything in Latin. Well, let's do everything in Latin.
Oh, yeah.
So now I started completely going. And she started to see me change to a different guy. And then one day I asked her if she wanted to get married again, because we got married twice already. One time when we came to America, we had to be married in order to apply for the green card. Otherwise, it has to be all separate.
Yeah.
So we did that really fast, but I promised her a big wedding, which we did in 2004.
Okay.
And then in 2015, I said that I want to marry for the church. I still, to this day, I don't know if she said yes or no, but I do know that it was a Sunday, and the next day I couldn't get a hold of her. And then once she called me back, she saw that I called her. I go, hey, where were you? She goes, I was at Mass. It was at noon. And I go, you were what? She said, Mass. He said, you want to get married for the church, right? She says, because I did my baptism, but I never did my confirmation. So I went to Mass and I just signed up for RCIA classes.
Wow.
So for her, didn't need anything. She just saw me change into a different guy and immediately jumped on board. Now, years before that, in 2008, we are doing the backyard with me. And the backyard is beautiful. I mean, my wife made, she drew everything out like she wanted it. And Ernesto and his brother Arturo, they came in, and the close friends of us, they made that whole, it's paradise. It's a really beautiful backyard. This is in California.
Yeah.
And he says, hey, do you mind about the religious tile on the wall where the water comes down? I said, sure, whatever. But I was far away removed from the church, but that's okay. So there is that religious tile sits there. So now we get married in the St. Therese Church, which I already really felt a connection with. Yeah. When I went to Alhambra to that church. There was something.
Of Lisieux.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you Remind me of like a little flower.
Yeah, she's completely.
Yeah.
Roses and lilies.
Yeah.
My favorite
By the
flowers.
way, the reason I said that is because she's had the most profound impact on me, and one of my friends laughed
Yeah.
at me and said, "Oh yeah, because you're a little flower."
Yeah. So no, and I was there one time. I took Antonio Sabata Jr. also with me, and we did a mass there. And we were standing, and we came in a little late because we had traffic on the road. It was a long drive, and I'm standing with my eyes closed, and he's poking me the whole time, and I'm laughing, but I don't want to open my eyes because So after mass, I said, What were you doing, dude? By poking me? He goes, I didn't poke you. And then Leo heard. He says, poking. He says, that's Saint Therese. She pokes people. That's what she's known for. So there was this crazy connection. And then we got married in that church because I felt good there.
Yeah.
So now I'm at the time already in 2016, I'm doing my my examination of conscience every night. I do the Divine Mercy, I do the Angelus, I do everything. And then at 10 o'clock at night, 9:30, I go outside, sit outside, and I do my examination of conscience. I do wrap it up with like 15 prayers that I have, and then I go to bed.
Yeah.
And this time we came home late, and it was like I start doing everything around 11:30 in the evening. So I'm sitting there, and I'm doing my my examination of conscience, and I'm looking back because now I got 10 minutes before midnight, and I'm looking back and I see that tile. So I make a picture of it, and I send it to Leo. Say, who is this? And he goes, it's Saint Therese.
That's awesome.
Okay, well, I got some time to go. But what I learned about Saint Therese, well, that's happened on September 30th, the day that she passed away, and then it went into October 1st, which is a feast day.
Wow.
At that same moment, I was sitting outside doing that. So that was, and I never do it at midnight.
Yeah.
But that day, on the day of her death and her feast day,
That's amazing.
when it changed
right
to,
overlapping that.
and that's when I found out it's Saint Therese. I go, what are the chances, that you have that? We were I was with Kevin, like I had an ablation of my heart done, like June 2nd, like last month. And so I stayed in his house after the surgery, and then he came back from his comedy tour. So we had 2 days. We went for burgers. We went to things. But while we're driving up the road, I was telling about Saint Therese, this thing. And while we're driving up this freeway, and everybody in the car is like, whoa, like flower air, like comes into the car.
Whoa.
And we go like, there's no way,
That is
like at the
amazing.
same moment.
Yeah.
We all looked at each other and go, oh,
that can't be. And if you all notice at the same time, that's happening.
Yeah.
So, guys, you pray like you used to train. It's pretty
That's
awesome.
it. You just attack it the same way, you know?
Now,
And,
you
I,
said-
and I never, it's like the daily rosary, like I build a habit and I won't break it.
Yeah.
Like how many times did you miss the rosary? Never. How many times do you do examination course? Never. The morning prayers? Never. You know, it's just a building habit. If I get up at 5 o'clock for something, I'll be probably up at 3:45 in order to do everything before I want to start my day.
It's like more uncomfortable to miss it than it is to do it.
Yeah. I'll feel unprotected.
Yeah.
I feel, because life is so good right now. In the beginning, when I came back, I lost a lot of fans. I lost a lot of jobs. And this is a crazy story, Dave. I didn't tell this before because that popped up with me like a year and a half ago, but I haven't talked about that yet. I made a pact with the devil when I was a kid. And it was, of course, because I was bullied. I was an outsider. Nobody liked me. And then, what you do if you're a weak person, you consider yourself weak. You want to side with the tough guy. Well, everybody's afraid of the devil. What about devil? What if about this? And and then you give me good life, and that's what I did. And now I think about my career. That was the craziest part. The crazier I did, the more I won.
And that's in the back of your mind this whole time.
No, but I didn't know at the time.
Oh, okay.
But now knowing.
Yeah.
I mean, in between fights, I go 3 days gone, and it's like I'm just disappear and go completely crazy.
Yeah.
With drugs, with alcohol, whatever, and then I come back home, and then one day rest, one day next day I start training again. Wow. I should have seen it coming that once I stop fighting, that's going to be a pattern, right? But I didn't at that time, But I'm insane, And the more I did that, I just kept winning more titles.
Yeah.
And I go like, it was like I got rewarded for it. All the bad stuff I got rewarded. And it almost felt like that.
Yeah.
I never, even after fighting, when I did commentating jobs, there were jobs that people literally throw me with 2 guys into my room. I wake up in the morning, always put my alarm. I'm a man of the clock.
Yeah.
If I know tomorrow If you tell me now tomorrow at 9 o'clock we have a meeting,
Yeah.
I already put my alarm now on 8.
Yeah.
And I will wake up in bed.
Yeah.
I go, whoa, what happened? Don't remember a thing what happened.
Yeah.
But the alarm went off. There's a meeting in an hour. Okay, slept maybe 2 hours. Doesn't care. Take a shower, boom. Go. I always had that. And I never messed up.
Yeah.
Never on air. I never made a mistake. They say, oh, we got to redo this. Never.
Yeah.
So it was almost like I got rewarded for the more crazy
And the
things
more
I
the
did.
devil can convince you that those things are actually a part of the power that makes you good at what you do, the more you sink in.
And I think I had no cares. So when I left the church, and I asked Father Wipke about this, I say, I think I made it back to the devil. He goes, Bas, as soon as you came back, that's over.
gone.
Don't worry about it. He said, but that's why I got attacked. I lost jobs. Really bad things started happening. Money-wise, start going down the drain. This is 2015,
Yeah.
or 2014. Because he didn't like it. I lost like 150,000 followers right away because when I said I was back to the church, boom, all these guys were gone. And then everything
Which,
went
by
down.
the way, kind of surprises me.
All the time. You want to be a better person and then people leave you.
And then, yeah, I mean, it's fascinating. Like, why
But it's
don't
good.
Yeah.
Because
Of course.
I don't need those.
You don't need those followers. No.
I don't need them at all. So
Yeah.
now I got the real core. And it
Yeah.
started coming back up here.
Yeah,
but
sure.
it took a while.
Yeah.
It took a while to get back up. Once
Yeah.
he realized, and he with him, I mean, the devil, I think once he realized that I stuck with it and I was not going to quit. And then, like I said, was with the Latin, on purpose. Oh, I'm going to poke that bear, So I was constantly
Yeah.
talking to him. I'm going to get you, dude.